Hello. This is part one. There is a part two. Just gotta work on this long-windedness. This is part one. There's a part two. The name of it. The question is what I'm sharing today. The question is who's the Lord? That's what this is about. So, who is the Lord? Who is the Lord to you? That's the question. I'm sharing who's the Lord to me. Who is the Lord? Um, See, for me, uh, I was 11 years old, and I was at church, and I they played a song at the end of the service and said, if you want to accept the Lord into your heart, come on up here. Um, if you want to, if you died tonight and you wanted to go to heaven to be with the Lord, not go to hell, well, it sounded to me like I'd want to go to heaven. I didn't really know what heaven was or hell was. And I didn't know who this person was, Jesus. But it all sounded real good to me and it felt right. And I went up there and I prayed this prayer and I said, Lord, I accept you in my heart, Jesus. I'm a sinner. I was 11. And okay, so I did that. And then I went, what do you do? Well, the only thing I need to do was you keep going back to church. Okay? So that's what I did. Sunday, Wednesday. And then you're supposed to read your Bible. Well, and I did try. I was 11 years old and I did try. But I'm going to tell you what's the truth. I didn't understand it. The best thing I knew was the Sunday school lessons about the stories and Noah and Jonah and the bread. All these stories, that's what I remembered. Okay, so let's fast forward because I'm trying to be quick. I'm going to tell you what. I became a teenager. I had a child very early on. I got married and everything. And I turned out to be about 22 and I was pregnant. And I lost my child. I was 5.5 months pregnant and the baby died. And I had to deliver him just like if you deliver a normal, happy, healthy baby. And y'all, that about killed me. And I tried everything. Pills for depression. My husband's trying to get me out of the house. I just didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to stay in that bed. I couldn't deal with it. The world had stopped for me. And so I got to thinking about it and I thought, I'm just going to go back to church. That's all I know to do. Went back to church. And you've heard people say it. I guarantee you, it might have happened to you. Well, and it happened to me. I was standing there. The preacher was talking. Time to end it. I was gripping those pews in front of me. I was standing there singing a song, and my knuckles was white from holding on real tight. I didn't want to go up there. He was saying, anybody that wants to accept Jesus in your heart, anybody that wants to be free from their sin, all this stuff. I just didn't want to go back up there, but I did. I thought, I've tried everything else. I'm going to try this. I went back up there and I rededicated my life to the Lord. That's what it was called. That's what I did. Maybe you've done that before. So, all right. So I'm 22, 23. I kept trying to go to church and everything. I tried to read my Bible. It felt like a chore. I can honestly say that. I wouldn't have said that to nobody else, but to me, it just felt like something I really had to do. Felt like I should do it and everything. So I was reading my Bible. And I say, that marriage failed. I was going to church. I was listening. And while I was at church listening, everything felt real good. Like I was full of confidence. This made sense. I can do this. This is right. The Lord will help me. I was full of hope there. Everything felt good. And by the time I can get home that night, down off of the mountain from Wilkesboro, by the time I got home, me and my husband's done arguing. I'm crying. I'm angry, hollering, screaming. See, that's what happened to me. I was trying to apply what I was learning at home. I was trying, y'all. I just couldn't do it in of myself. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know what it's called. I'm just sharing the truth about my life. So that marriage failed, like I said. Kids are back and forth now between houses. I found me another man. I got married again. very hard marriage, ups and downs. I could go into sharing all that, but you imagine it, and it probably happened. And so, getting to be about the time I was 32, I lost a job, lost a real good friend, a best friend of about 10 or 12 years. Didn't really have any more close friends. Like I said, wasn't working. My husband working 12 hours a day. Take the kids to school, and I started going to the park. I started to take my Bible. I didn't tell you about that church I was going to. Half of that church, well, had a pastor and assistant pastor. And you've probably heard a story like this. Well, we come in, sit down on Wednesday night. Pastor come out there and shocked the fire out of me, y'all. It just rocked my world. I didn't know that the assistant pastor had been caught sleeping with the worship leader, the secretary, the woman. And half the church didn't believe that because that assistant pastor, he didn't own up to it. So I was sitting there Wednesday night. Half of that church got up and walked out the door to follow that pastor. And there was half of this church that wanted to follow this pastor now. And I went home and, man, I was hurt. That's the only place I could go to feel like I was getting the truth. That's the only place I could go to have some hope and, feel, it really hurt me. I didn't know what to do. I was confused. So that happened, and like I said, then I went on. I got married again. I done told you that. Here I am, about 32 years old, lost his job. I don't want to repeat everything, but so anyways, I just went to the park. I visited churches and everything from time to time. I had nothing against it. But I just went to the park. I'd take a kids to school, I'd go to the park, I'd take my Bible. At first I was listening to an app on my phone called Daily Audio Bible and listening to some scriptures on there, and this guy named Brian Harden would explain these scriptures. Did that for a while. It helped me. And I'll tell you what I did. I opened that book up. I'd weep, I'd cry, I'd journal. I'd get it all out, write it in my journal. Every day I'd just go back to that park. I didn't have nothing else to do. And so, anyway, I just opened that book up and I just said, "Who are you, Lord? Who are you? Here I've been saying that I know you, believe in you, and all this stuff. I ain't been ashamed to say I believe in Jesus, so trying to figure out, where am I at here? What is this all about?" And I was just saying, this is your words. This is what come from your heart. I understood that much. Men wrote it, but it was from the heart of the Father. And I just said, would you be able to show me what this means? That's what I did. And I tell you, I can't pinpoint it. I can't put my finger on it to tell you what happened. But I did realize that I needed help. I did realize that this wasn't working. There wasn't. I was broken, busted, tore up, just in every which way I didn't want to be, I was. And so I just kept visiting the park and kept talking to the Lord. I was getting to know him from scratch, y'all. I didn't know what it was okay to talk to him about or not. I didn't know if it was okay to get angry with him or not. Because, I figured out I blamed him for a lot of things that happened in my life. Why, Lord? I don't understand why you allowed this to happen to me. So anyway, I just kept doing all these things. I was just being real right there in that park with the Lord during the day. Come back home, do my housework, whatever I had to do. Get the kids, whatever. And I kept doing that, y'all. I went and got alone with the Lord. That's what I did. And something started happening to me. Something started changing. So from the time I was about 32, now I'm going on 40, and I think I'm getting ready to go into part 2 about that. How, just some things you could ask yourself that I asked myself to figure out who the Lord was in my life. If I had to explain him to my child, how do I explain him? Without just using words. How could I see him in my life? How was I different today than I was 10 years ago? Or even a year ago? And so these are some things I'm sharing. I'm just sharing my personal walk with the Lord. That's it. If it helps somebody, great. If it encourages somebody, wonderful. But anyway, I guess that's for part 1. I did good, 10 minutes. Go see part 2 in case you want to hear it. We bring you some hope. I found hope, y'all. I found hope. It's true. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye.